tell you what, Tube Top can't stop today. Welcome back to Sacred Enzyme, because I got one more for you. I'm just falling all over myself here today. The more books I pull out, the more the light bulb's coming on. So we need to have a conversation about this book right here, because I bought this book, Keys of Enoch. I paid $50 for this book. I got talked into buying this through my teacher because we were going to go to a conference. And I ended up backing out because the primordial mother told me not to go, that I would regret it. Seriously. So I bought this book, The Keys of Enoch. I paid $50 for this. I thought it was going to explain the mysteries of time cycles in the ancient calendar, but here's the issue with a lot of mystery school teachings, folks. You don't ever reach the end. You never reach the end. You buy the book, then you learn there's 7 levels, but you only get to level 1. So to get to level 2, you have to go to the conference, and you got to fly 3,000 miles. You got to get a hotel. You got to buy the course. And then when you finally get the key, well, guess what? It's copyrighted. So it's copyrighted. You can't even share the information. You can't teach it. You can't discuss it. You can't show it. And then, well, there's always another level after that, you know. It's not ascension, guys. It's a business model. Come on. I mean, look. You clearly see on the front of this book, what do you got there? Well, it looks like the trusty phoenix, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, we got 7 swords on here. So the funny thing is the real key of Enoch, it wasn't even in this book. Not at all. Because it's right in the Bible the whole time. So let me tell you. I went through all of the people in the Bible that were over 500 years old. And I seen Enoch, E-N-O-S-H. He lived to be 905 years old. So we had Adam, who was 930. We had Seth, who was 912. We had Enoch, who was 905. Kenan, 910. One that I can't even pronounce, M-A-H-A-L-A-L-A-L-E-L. And E-L, I mean, that's L means supposed to be like God. 895. Okay, so we're talking about lunar cycles here, guys. Jared, 962. Methuselah, 969. Lamech, 777. Noah, 950. We already talked about him. So you take these literally, these people sound like some damn superheroes, you know? This is like a superhero comic. These people are living 900 years. Give me a break. Ancient cultures measure time very different. They use the lunar months, not modern solar years. So if you take these giant numbers and you divide them by 12 and do the calculations, they completely collapse into normal human lifespans, folks. 75, 76, 78, 80. They're all clustered around the same age range. Why do you think that is, huh? Well, it's not random. That's formatting, guys. That's a system. These patriarchs belong to the garden era, guys. They were here. This was the lunar wheel. This was Mother's garden, guys. They counted time in lunar cycles. These belong to the lunar cycle. The 12 pattern wheel here, guys. Okay, so who breaks the pattern? Well, here comes Enoch. Enoch, in Genesis 5, 23 and 24, it says, altogether Enoch lived 365 years. Then he was not, for God took him. He doesn't live 900 years. He doesn't fit those lunar patterns. He doesn't follow that formula. He lives exactly 365 years. Remember how we talked about? I'm telling you, I'm just getting shits and giggles left and right. We talked about right back here. Sorry, guys, I got all my dogs are in the floor. We talked about right here where we had these shifts, where we went from the garden, the original lunar primordial mother's earth, right? And then we went into the phoenix. And when we went from here into this next pie wedge of the phoenix, this is when everything burnt down. But you have to remember that this was the end of the lunar, at the end of this more fluid, the last of the fluidity in this cycle, because we got to the last quadrant here on the clock, right? We got to we got to the 9 on the clock, right? This is wrapping up the completion of this cycle. We hit to 9, right? We go here. This is the garden, the original template, the Garden of Eden. We got the first Garden of Eden right here. And I believe that this was at the celestial North Pole. We had a cataclysm, which was fire, right? Fire came in. That's when the North Pole was uninhabitable, was destroyed. There was meteors that rained all over the planet. There's meteors that hit Florida. They're hidden under Florida. There's lake holes, there's lakes everywhere in Florida, and they're all left over from a meteor shower. Bach Tower Garden sits on top of a meteor, and they hide it. They hide it. There's a lot of hidden shit here, I'm telling you. When we went to Phoenix, we went from lunar to solar. We went from 364 day to 365. So what is Enoch, guys? Enoch is showing us he is the number of the solar year, guys. The number of the calendar shift, the number of the new era. Y'all, this is the moment the wheel skips. Okay? This was Enoch. He was right here on this line. He was between the 12 and the 13. Garden, Phoenix, Leviathan, just like we're talking about now. Lunar, solar. This is the fire sequence, guys. Enoch sits right between the garden and the Phoenix. He is the hinge, doorway, handoff. The 13 frequency entering a 12 frequency world. Get it? Yes. Now we're going back. We have to go back. Yes. That was a light bulb. Okay, that's why Genesis says, he walked with God, and then he was not. So are they saying that God is the primordial mother here? Something to think about. He doesn't die, he transitions. He represents the switch in the measurement of time, guys. And guess who comes next? Well, that'd be Noah, the Phoenix reset. Yep, right here, my friends. Because right after Enoch disappears, Genesis 6:9, a new generation is introduced. Yes, indeed, we got all of the masculine AI loop that kicked off right here, right here. There's so much stuff that happened right between the original garden template and the Phoenix event. Symbolically, lunar, solar, reset. Garden, Enoch, Phoenix. Moon, sun, flood. 12, 13, new beginning, new age, right? So the Jesus parallel was the water as activation, right? So it sounds familiar because it should. When Jesus steps into the Jordan and comes back through the waters, that is his activation point. John baptizes him, the old cycle, the dove descends, the new cycle. Water becomes the conductor that carries the change. It's the same pattern as Enoch. A cycle closes, a new cycle opens, the handoff happens in a single moment, and water is always the turning key in everything. So what the real key is that you don't need a 7-level program. You don't need a $50 book. You don't need a conference. The mystery wasn't hidden in a vault. It's right here in Genesis 5. 365. The moment the calendar changed, the moment the wheel shifted, the moment the garden handed off to the Phoenix. And that's the kind of wisdom that belongs to everybody, guys. No paywall, no gatekeeping, just a pattern right in front of us. So, love to hear what you have to say. All this stuff is just coming in plain as day now. You don't need to spend $50 on a book. You don't need to ask anybody to help you if they've got a $sign on it, because it's quantum entangled and it's in a 12 by 12 finite system. And we're getting out of the system. We're getting out of the matrix. So with that, make sure you like and subscribe. Share the videos, guys. This is a non-profit channel. We operate all in reciprocity. So with that, when you come and find me, I'll be here. We're living in the past, present, and the future. We're living in the between the solar and the lunar years once again, guys. We can take it to the 13th. So I hope to catch you on the next one. And I am keeping my word this time. I say you can take it to the bank, but I've made such a commitment to delivering this information when it comes in. Just gonna bring it out because I'm just getting loads of shit downloaded and it's a lot to try to keep up with. So love to hear your comments, and I hope to catch you on the next one. We got lots more characters in this whole Bible saga here to decode now. Thanks for watching. Sacred Enzyme. Bye-bye.